The first game in the doubleheader slate on Sunday is the LA Rams, the 4th seed, traveling to Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. The best weather, if any game this weekend, 58 degrees there in Tampa. Still going to be 11-mile-per-hour winds. I don't know how much that's going to come into a factor. Tampa Bay at home favored by 2.5, over under 48. Quick note, obviously these two teams have also faced each other. The Rams won Week 3 matchup at home, 34-24. So both of the two teams that played each other played at home, and now they're going on the road. So Tampa Bay, again, has to travel to, LA has to travel to Tampa Bay. What are you guys seeing here?
Yeah, I think that if there is a game for Tom Brady haters to be excited about, have a chance for the Buccaneers, and to be kicked out of the playoffs, I think this is the game. I think this is going to be a tough matchup for Tom Brady. So the offensive line for the Buccaneers is maybe the second best or top one offensive line in the NFL, and going against a defensive line with Von Miller and Aaron Donald in the last 2-3 weeks has really kind of resurged and been amazing. They've got 50 sacks in this year, which is I think the 4th best in the league. So that's going to be an interesting David versus Goliath matchup to watch for. So the other matchup to watch for obviously is a guy named Ramsey. Evans versus Ramsey. If Evans is covered like he was in the first time they played, 5 catches for 54 yards, and we start double teaming Gronkowski, guys like Perriman, and I forget the other guy's name. But
Tyler Johnson.
Tyler Johnson has to step up, and will they be able to step up against the Rams defense? And that's going to be something to look out for. So I'm excited for the matchup. I'm going to side with the Rams on this game, and I think the Rams actually come out and win against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's not it's only the Buccaneers are favored by 2.5, so it could very well go either way. But yeah, the Rams are on fire. They might be the most on fire team as of week 13. So the Rams are tied for the best record in the NFL since week 13, including the playoffs. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. The only loss was week 18 against San Francisco when it wasn't really the end of it all if they lost that game. So that being said, there's also something else we need to kind of talk about, and that's Tom Brady and how he plays against the Rams, right? He's 0-2 versus Rams since joining the Buccaneers, so he hasn't beaten them yet. So that's got to play some role in the back of our mind, like, how do I beat this team? Because I clearly haven't beaten them yet. And then Matthew Stafford, as much as you guys know how much I dislike this man very passionately, he led the league with 139.6 passer rating versus the blitz. So that's
he's like,
what's
come
that,
at me,
what's
bro.
that like? What's that like? a quarterback that can actually handle pressure. Holy shit.
Right. 139.6 pass rating against the blitz. The Tampa Bay defense, however, had a 38.1 blitz percentage, which is the second highest in the NFL. So they will be coming.
Another one of those.
Yes. Which one will?
Unstoppable force versus immovable object type stuff.
Right. Corvette and what's the other one? Was there a Corvette thing about Kobe a while back?
Corvette versus
Porsche?
Mamba?
I forgot. It was something about Shaq and Kobe. I don't remember. But anyways, so the Rams are on fire. Tom Brady hasn't beaten the Rams. And one fun little thing to look for, this is the 8th playoff game in the last 30 seasons between opposing starting quarterbacks that each ranked in the top 2 in passing touchdowns that season.
Damn.
So, this is offensive firepower.
Number 1, number 2.
The QB ranked number 1 has won 5 of the previous 7 matchups.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is Tom Brady's game to lose. And like you mentioned, the wide receiver situation and how, if you can eliminate Mike Evans, well, Perriman's on the injury report.
Yep.
And it's not a simple, like a finger or something. It's a hip. It's a hip and an abdomen. So it's a big deal. They're down to literally nothing, and it's a Rams defense. Von Miller could literally just eliminate Gronk if he was put on Gronk as an assignment.
Yep.
And, there's a lot of things going against the Buccaneers, and that's also why you see the line is just 2.5 for a home team.
Yeah. You saw what that defensive line did to a insanely mobile quarterback like Kyler Murray.
Right.
So just imagine Tom Brady back there. We haven't even hit on the fact that Tristan Wirfs, their right tackle, is on the injury report, and then their center, Ryan Jensen's also on the injury report.
Do you know who the Rams have on the injury report?
Yeah, Andrew Whitworth, their left tackle. So their left tackle's out. So Andrew Whitworth's out for the Rams. So the one thing that I read up on is their backup left tackle is the left tackle of the future that's going to replace Whitworth because he's like in his 40s. So I don't think they're that upset about that, even though Whitworth's like a perennial Hall of Famer maybe. But Tristan Wirfs, the right tackle on the other side, and their center being out against an Aaron Donald and Von Miller defensive line, especially after seeing how they dominated Kyler Murray, who can scramble with the best of them. Like Tom Brady is going to have even more pre-snap reads, and that's just going to be feasting for an opportunistic defense and like a Jalen Ramsey, especially if he's locking down Mike Evans. So yeah, I do worry tremendously about the Buccaneers' offensive line woes against that Rams defensive line. And as much as I'd been fading the Rams towards the end of the year to my own demise, because that's when they've gotten hot, I mean, they're in a very, very like friendly matchup between these two teams. Like I think a matchup on paper, the Rams have the advantage.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Brady just lost two of his superstar offensive linemen, and you have two of the best defensive linemen in football. Like, and then you have the best cornerback in league shutting down the one important guy.
The one receiver they have that's healthy.
Right. So in what world are the Buccaneers going to win this game?
I don't know. I still picked the Bucs, unfortunately. I don't know what I was thinking, but
Yeah, I mean, it's just that Tom Brady factor,
Yeah,
right?
of
Like
course.
this guy does
Of
not
course.
lose 9 Super Bowls
No.
and anything. Tom Brady, if there's a quarterback I would say can go out and win this game, it's Tom Brady. But yeah, odds, there are a lot of things going against him this game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Vegas obviously still thinks they're favorites at 2.5. So are you guys both leaning Rams plus 2.5?
I think so,
I
man.
am.
They have little to nobody on the injury report, and they're hot. It's just hard to.
And don't forget about like Sony Michel, Cam Akers,
Yeah.
both of them.
Cam
had-
Akers looked good.
Yeah, he did. He did. I was actually like very shocked that he looked as
Same.
good as he did already. Yeah, so it's gonna be a Stafford thing. Like if
Yeah.
they lose, it's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be a
gonna be Matthew
Stafford,
Stafford.
thing. And I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be surprised.
and OBJ. I
No.
can't
I don't
believe-
think
OBJ's solid.
OBJ is not going to be the reason they lose.
No. Sorry, I was going back to my Sony Michel, Cam Akers,
okay.
and OBJ.
It was
Not
a very delayed and OBJ.
very delayed OBJ. Yes.
Yes, and Cooper Cup and
Well,
Tyler Higbee.
Don't forget about the best player in
Yeah.
the league,
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, dude, I don't know. These matchups on paper seem insanely exciting, but I'm also, once picking the Bucs, right now, I've convinced myself that the Rams are the better team.
They are the better team, dude. They are. It's the Tom Brady factor, like you said. You can never count that guy out.
Yeah.
So it's probably still going to be a close game, but I can see 50 different scenarios where the Buccaneers lose rather than one scenario, and that's Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Tell me more, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so let's jump into the next game then.